You walk into Costco, Walmart, or Best Buy planning to spend maybe $600 on a new TV. You've done a little research. You have a number in your head. You feel pretty good. And then you walk through those doors, and suddenly every screen in the building looks incredible. Bright colors, vivid motion, giant QLED stickers across every bezel, massive sale tags screaming $400 off, and somehow the cheapest TVs are sitting right next to models that cost twice as much while looking almost identical from 10 feet away. That is the trap, and it's not an accident. Because in 2026, TV shopping has become less about brand names and more about hidden compromises retailers don't advertise. Some TVs use exclusive model numbers made specifically for big box stores, numbers you can't find anywhere else online, making comparison shopping nearly impossible. Others quietly cut brightness, dimming zones, or processing power while keeping the premium branding intact. And almost every TV on that showroom floor is running a hyper-bright demo mode, engineered to look far better under store lighting than it ever will in your living room. The worst part? Some of the most heavily advertised TVs right now are actually the weakest values on the shelf. Today we're ranking 8 major smart TVs from America's biggest retailers, worst to best. From the traps you need to walk past to the ones genuinely worth your money in 2026. Number 8, Samsung DU7-200/DU6900 series, the logo trap. Starting at number 8, and this one hurts to say because Samsung is a name most people trust completely. You'll see this TV on every Walmart pallet and holiday end cap because Samsung knows that name alone sells TVs. But the DU7200 and DU6900 series are among the weakest values in the entire entry-level market, despite carrying that premium badge. The HDR brightness is extremely limited. That matters because HDR is what makes a modern TV look modern, what makes a sunset actually glow, what makes a stadium scene feel alive. When the brightness ceiling is this low, movies at home look flat and washed out compared to that store display. On top of that, there's no meaningful local dimming, so black levels look gray rather than deep. You notice it most during nighttime viewing, when dark scenes feel like you're watching through foggy glass. Motion handling struggles during sports and fast action, and Samsung's Tizen OS has grown increasingly cluttered with ads and sponsored content rows right on the home screen. You buy the TV, and your home screen becomes a billboard. Buying the cheapest Samsung and expecting flagship quality is like buying the base trim of a luxury car and expecting the full premium experience. The badge is the same, but almost everything underneath it is different. The verdict: looks premium under store lighting, feels entry-level after a week at home, and somehow spending more doesn't automatically fix the problem. Number 7, LG QLED D80 series, the overpriced middle ground. Number 7, the Samsung traps you with brand prestige at a low price. The LG QLED D80 traps you differently with a technical-sounding name at a high price. QLED sounds advanced, and for what these TVs cost at retail, buyers reasonably expect premium performance. But compared honestly against similarly priced competitors, the picture quality frequently performs like a mid-range TV wearing a premium price tag. Contrast is weak for the money. It's what separates a TV that looks like a window into another world from one that just looks like a lit panel on your wall. And against mini LED competitors at similar prices, the QLED D80 falls noticeably short. Blooming becomes obvious in dark movie scenes, pulling you out of the experience. HDR impact lacks the punch buyers expect at this price. And WebOS, while faster than before, has grown increasingly crowded with recommendations and advertising. Buyer feedback tells a consistent story. People pay premium prices, get home, and find themselves specifically disappointed by black levels and movie performance. The verdict? It looks expensive on the shelf because it is expensive, not because it outperforms the competition. Now here's where things start getting more interesting. Number 6, Roku Plus series, the safe budget pick. Number 6, and look, this one is for everyone out there who has been burned before, who bought a cheap TV, set it up, and spent the next 2 years fighting a sluggish remote, apps that crash, and a home screen that takes 45 seconds to load. This is the TV for you. The Roku Plus series does not scream premium specs. It is not going to win any brightness competitions. If you put it next to a high-end mini LED in a showroom, it's going to lose on paper. But here is what it does that so many budget TVs fail to do. It focuses on consistency and ease of use instead of chasing fake flagship marketing. Roku OS remains one of the smoothest, most straightforward TV operating systems you can get on any screen at any price. It is fast. It is clean. It doesn't clutter your home screen with ads the way some competitors do. Apps load reliably. The remote makes sense. If you hand this TV to someone who is not a tech person, they will figure it out in about 3 minutes. And that genuinely matters for a lot of households. App reliability is better here than on many low-cost Fire TV competitors, which have been known to have issues with specific streaming apps updating inconsistently or launching unreliably. The Roku platform has a longer track record of stability. Color accuracy for the price is respectable. Not reference level, not going to impress a video file, but accurate enough that skin tones look natural, sports look clean, and everyday streaming content looks good in a normally lit room. And the pricing is usually noticeably more aggressive than equivalent entry-level Samsung TVs, which makes the real-world value proposition even clearer. Most owners describe this TV the same way: dependable and frustration-free, not impressive, not a conversation starter, just a TV that works every time without drama. The verdict? Not flashy, just surprisingly hard to regret. But now we are entering the part of this ranking where TV prices start to stop making sense in the best possible way. Number 5, TCLQ6 series, the budget TV that finally looks modern. Number 5, and this is the entry point where affordable TVs stop looking cheap. If you've been shopping in the budget category for a while, you know the feeling. You're looking at a $300 or $400 TV and something about the picture just feels thin. Washed out colors, muddy darks, motion that looks like it's struggling. The Q6 is the TV where that feeling starts to go away. The Q6 succeeds because it delivers enough contrast and color performance to genuinely embarrass some bigger name competitors at higher prices. That's not hype. That's just what quantum dot color technology does when it's implemented even reasonably well in a mid-range TV. The images are noticeably richer. Colors have more depth. A nature documentary or a colorful animated movie looks more alive than it does on a basic LED panel at the same price. Gaming responsiveness is better than expected at this tier as well. You're not getting elite gaming specs, but for casual and even moderately serious gamers, the Q6 keeps up in a way that budget TVs often don't. Retail pricing on the Q6 tends to drop aggressively during major sale events: Black Friday, Memorial Day weekend, back to school. And during those windows, the value becomes almost difficult to argue against. The contrast performance already outclasses many entry-level Samsung and LG models at regular prices. On sale, it starts making mid-range TVs look hard to justify. Buyers consistently come back with the same reaction. They were genuinely shocked by how good the picture looked for what they paid. That's the reaction you want when you open a box. That's the reaction that used to be reserved for TVs that cost twice as much. The verdict on the TCLQ6: One of the few true wait for the sale and then buy immediately TVs on the market right now. Here's something retailers hope you don't think too hard about. Exclusive model numbers, TVs made specifically for one retailer, exist because they make direct comparison shopping nearly impossible. You can't easily verify whether the TV on that end cap is identical to the one you researched at home. And some of those massive price drops are really just weaker versions of a premium model wearing a different name, marked down from a price that was already inflated. If this already saved you from a bad TV deal, hit subscribe, because the next 3 TVs might completely change what you think a smart TV should cost in 2026. Number 4, Sony X9 OL, the reliability pick. Number 4. And we slow down a little here because the top half of this list deserves more careful consideration. The Sony X9 OL is the TV people buy when they are genuinely tired. Tired of firmware bugs that show up 3 months after purchase. Tired of weird motion processing artifacts that make movies look like soap operas. Tired of customer support experiences that go nowhere. Tired of buying a TV that worked great in October and felt like a different, worse TV by February. Sony charges more for this TV than some of its competitors at similar screen sizes. That is not a secret, and it is not an accident. The question is whether that premium is justified, and in this case, the evidence says yes. The motion clarity on the X90L for sports and live television is excellent. Sony's processing engine has a long track record of handling fast motion cleanly, and that shows up clearly when you're watching football, basketball, tennis, or any other content where the camera is moving quickly and subjects are moving quickly at the same time. It just handles it cleanly, naturally, without the motion artifacts or judder that cheaper processing creates. Upscaling is another area where Sony consistently earns its price. Upscaling is what the TV does to content that wasn't shot in full 4K quality. Cable channels, older streaming content, standard definition sources. On lesser TVs, upscaled content looks soft, grainy, or artificially sharpened in a way that looks worse than just leaving it alone. On the X90L, upscaled content looks noticeably cleaner and more natural than on competing brands at similar prices. Local dimming performance is strong, with good HDR balance. Dark scenes stay dark. Bright highlights look genuinely bright. The balance between the two is what gives a picture depth and dimension. And then there's the firmware story. Sony's update history is meaningfully more stable than many aggressive value brands. The TV you buy in the spring is still a smooth, reliable experience the following winter. That's not guaranteed with everyone in this category. Long-term owners of Sony TVs consistently report fewer software frustrations and fewer quality control complaints than owners of more aggressively priced competitors. That pattern matters when you're making a purchase you expect to live with for 5 to 7 years. The verdict on the Sony X90L. Not the cheapest TV on this list, but possibly the safest long-term purchase on this list. And then we get to the TV that completely scrambled the mid-range pricing conversation. Number 3, Hisense U7N. The spec monster, number 3. And this is the TV that forced premium brands to start seriously justifying their prices again. A few years ago, if you wanted a TV with mini LED backlighting, the technology that allows dramatically more precise control over which parts of the screen are bright and which parts are dark, you were looking at a minimum of $1,000, probably more. That was the entry point for that kind of performance. Hisense changed that math with the U7N. The brightness on this TV is genuinely high, not for the price high, just high period. In a bright living room where sunlight is coming through windows and overhead lights are on, the U7N holds its image in a way that cheaper panels cannot. That brightness also transforms HDR content. Explosions look explosive. Sunlit outdoor scenes feel exposed and vivid. The jump from a standard LED panel to this is immediately visible to anyone watching. Gaming support is excellent here. High refresh rate performance and low input lag make this a meaningful option for people who use their TV for gaming as well as watching. And the specs in those departments are competitive with TVs that cost significantly more. Pricing is consistently aggressive. Hisense has made it a strategy to undercut major competitors in ways that are hard to explain away, and the U7N is the clearest example of that strategy working. Now, and this is worth saying clearly because it's the honest picture, some buyers have noted panel consistency concerns. Not every unit coming off the line is identical in performance, and some buyers have received panels that showed more inconsistency than others. Occasional firmware quirks have also come up in long-term owner feedback. This is why the recommendation comes with one important qualifier. If you buy this TV from a Jiahuanzi retailer with a genuinely strong return policy, the risk profile changes significantly. If you get a great unit, and most buyers do, you have an exceptional TV. If you don't, you have a return window. That context matters. The verdict? The Hisense U7N is one of the best values in America right now with that return policy caveat in place. And now we reach the TV that has legacy brands genuinely uncomfortable. Number 2, TCL QM7. The value disruptor, number 2. And this is the TV that made a large number of buyers realize that brand prestige had quietly stopped mattering as much as actual hardware. The QM7 delivers premium-level brightness and contrast at prices that have genuinely disrupted the mid-range TV market. Mini LED contrast performance on this panel rivals TVs that cost dramatically more. Not slightly more, dramatically more. The HDR experience is the kind of cinematic, dimensional image that used to require spending $2,000 or beyond to access. Bright highlights glow the way they're supposed to. Shadows hold their depth. The picture has weight to it. Gaming performance is exceptional for the price point. Serious gamers who have tested the QM7 against significantly more expensive options frequently come away satisfied with the performance, which is a remarkable thing to say about a TV at this price. Retail discounts make the situation even more compelling. The QM7 already comes in under where many competing premium TVs are priced, and during major sale events, the gap widens further. Here's something worth understanding about how this market works. And this connects directly to why comparison shopping has gotten so confusing. Retail exclusive TV model numbers are like identical twins wearing different jackets. Sometimes the differences are cosmetic, and sometimes one secretly lost features. A TV that looks like the same model you researched online might have a different panel, different processing, or different brightness specs, with nothing on the box telling you that. The QM7, to its credit, has a relatively transparent spec story and a consistent presence across retail channels, which makes it easier to research and verify before you buy. Many buyers of the QM7 report that it outperformed their expectations so dramatically that they stopped considering Samsung and LG alternatives altogether. They went in planning to spend more on a legacy brand and walked out with a TCL that outperformed it. That story, repeated at scale, is exactly why the TV market is being reshaped right now. The verdict? The TCL QM7 is the TV that exposed just how overpriced significant portions of the smart TV market had become. And somehow, the number one pick isn't even the craziest value story on this list anymore. It's just the best TV. Number 1, LG C4 OLED, the new price-to-performance king. Number 1. And we take our time here because this TV deserves it. A few years ago, OLED televisions felt genuinely out of reach for most normal buyers. The technology existed, the reviews were unanimously glowing, and the price was reliably above $2,000 for any size that made sense in a living room. OLED was the thing you saw in a showroom and thought, someday, maybe. In 2026, that conversation has fundamentally changed. The LG C4 OLED has dropped to prices, especially during model transition periods and major retail events, that make many premium LCD TVs difficult to justify buying. And once you understand what OLED actually is and how it works, you understand why the performance difference is so significant. Every single pixel in an OLED panel produces its own light independently. That means when a scene calls for pure black, those pixels simply turn off entirely. No backlight bleeding, no glow, no gray where black should be. Just black. The contrast ratio is, in technical terms, infinite. And in practical terms, it means that dark scenes in movies, in shows, in games look the way a director actually intended them to look. Not approximated, not compromised, correct. That perfect black level creates the best movie watching experience currently available in a consumer TV. Watching a film on a well-calibrated C4 in a dim room is genuinely temporarily different from watching on any LCD panel, regardless of price. There is a depth and dimensionality to the image that LCD technology, even excellent LCD technology, approximates but doesn't fully replicate. The gaming performance on the C4 is elite. Response times are among the lowest you'll measure on any display at any price. Motion clarity is exceptional. For people who use their TV as a primary gaming display, the C4 is operating at a level that dedicated gaming monitors at significant cost struggle to match in overall experience. WebOS, LG's operating system, remains fast and genuinely polished overall. It's not without its growing advertising presence. No major smart TV platform is completely clean anymore. But the overall experience is smooth, well-organized, and responsive in a way that reflects years of refinement. The price drops that have happened during model transitions as the C5 has begun rolling out have made the C4 available at prices that would have been unthinkable for OLED technology just 2 or 3 years ago. The value equation has shifted enough that many reviewers and long-term TV enthusiasts who spent years recommending premium LCD alternatives have changed their recommendations. Most C4 owners describe it the same way when asked to compare it to previous TVs they've owned. They say it's the first TV that actually felt premium. Not because of the price, not because of the marketing, but because of what they saw when they sat down and watched something they loved. That reaction, described by buyer after buyer, is the honest proof of concept. The verdict on the LG C4 OLED. This is the TV that completely redefines what high-end means for regular buyers in 2026. So here's the reality of TV shopping right now. There are 3 completely different markets hiding under the same showroom lighting. First, the trap tier, TVs built on brand recognition and deliberately confusing model numbers designed to prevent easy comparison. They look incredible in-store because every condition in that building is engineered to make them look that way. At home, under normal conditions, the compromises become visible fast. That's the Samsung DU series. That's the overpriced mid-range TVs with impressive-sounding names and underwhelming real-world performance. Then there's the honest middle ground. The Roku Plus and TCL Q6 aren't perfect, but they deliver consistent everyday performance without pretending to be something they're not. If your budget is limited, these won't leave you feeling like you made a mistake. And then there are the TVs that changed what's actually possible. The Sony X90L for long-term reliability. The Hisense U7N for flagship brightness at a disruptive price. The TCL QM7 for mini LED contrast that makes legacy brands uncomfortable, and the LG C4 OLED for anyone ready to understand that the gap between good TV and incredible TV has closed more than the retail floor wants you to realize. The biggest takeaway is this: The retailer isn't the problem. Buying the wrong model is. So before you finalize anything, drop the exact TV model you're considering in the comments. I'll tell you honestly whether it's worth your money or whether you're walking straight into a trap. And if this video saved you from a bad purchase, subscribe, because 2026 TV pricing is only getting weirder from here.